All right, let's look at forward head posture with Dr. Berg and compare this to dog culture.
Okay. Now, when I was in practice, I would always ask people, have you ever had any compression injuries to your head, whether something falling on your head or you falling from someplace landing on your head? I remember when I was 5 years old, swinging on a swing set, and I slipped off and I fell about 3 foot right on my head, okay, creating a compression injury right through this area. That was the start of my neck problems and the reason I eventually went to see a chiropractor. You also
Okay, so falling on your head can cause a problem with this. So I've went over this quite a few times, but dogs are constantly knocking kids on their heads and causing all sorts of acceleration, deceleration injuries. Check the description. I'll add a few links for you to check out. Okay, back to you, Dr. Berg.
also have tailbone injuries, okay? So where you're falling on your butt really hard, the force will travel all the way up the spine and actually get stuck right here in the occiput, okay?
Okay, tailbone injury. What kind of injury is this right here? Boom, right on the tailbone. And you know these dog owning parents allow that stuff to happen all the time. So it's a chronic thing.
So if you had a history of a tailbone injury, okay, chances are you have a lot of tension and stiffness in guarding and the
So, how many children out there have a history of tailbone injury? I bet a lot of them do. All because of dogs and because of their uh, airheaded parents doing those little videos.
top part of your neck, which will pull you forward eventually. Then you have whiplash. Whether you're driving a car and get hit from behind, okay, and your neck goes back this way and forward, which you end up creating trauma on the front part of the neck right here.
Okay, so rapid acceleration and deceleration of your head versus your body. So, where do we see that all the time? Boom. So, where else do we see that?
Don't fall.
That's that side neck trauma, too, that he's going to talk about later. And notice the airheaded parents, like I said. They're telling the child not to fall, but they're allowing the dog to make the child fall. Like, if you don't want your kid to fall down, get your mutant, brain dead dog out of there. It's like you're blaming the kid for possibly falling, but if the dog knocks the kid over, it's a hoot and a holler.
Because it's going to overstretch, or a front end collision where your head goes forward first and you're creating micro trauma in the back part, or even from the side. So
From the side, like the one I just showed you.
it hits you from the side and your head goes this way. So there's all sorts of traumatic things that can happen to your neck that tend to haunt you later in life.
Yeah, so these things are chronic. Like people always tell me when I talk about dogs knocking kids over, people will just quickly say, oh, kids are resilient, don't worry about it. Puppers are the best thing you could ever get for your kid. Well, they're wrong because they're causing chronic injury to the necks of their kid. And if you look at our society right now, ADHD, Alzheimer's, other stuff that relates to having that sheath that protects your arteries and your drainage system for your brain, those are getting compromised, and that's causing many of these mental problems with our little kids, including sleep loss, obesity, and many other things.
Or you spend 8, 10, 12 hours behind a desk, behind your computer.
Okay, so yeah, the desk and the computer, that's a big part of it. But all of those injuries that he talks about, we are chronically allowing ourselves to get injured. And I know some people will probably say, well, Dr. Berg talked about automotive accidents, and those are way worse than dogs. But let's look at something else. If you look up dogs stepping in front of people on bicycles and motorcycles and causing road accidents, this happens all the time. Like this little video. So the guy ends up falling on his head. Yeah, he has a helmet on, but not everybody has a helmet. Sometimes little kids get on their bike and go for a ride, and they end up suffering a fate like this. And it's not something that's uncommon. It happens all the time. So indirectly, dogs can cause additional head traumas like what Dr. Berg's talking about. If you go to any one of these websites where it's a law office and keyword search for dogs, you'll find that they handle this a lot. They loose dogs cause a serious hazard for you, your car, and your passengers and drivers. So dogs inside of people's cars distracting us, dogs running in the road, are also a driver for loss of head injury. So it's not just like owning a dog. So a lot of people will say, well, if you don't like dogs, just freaking don't worry about it. Well, everybody's dog is causing this problem for everybody else. So, like, even if you're a dog lover, you should take this video that I'm doing right now, copy it, and paste it to all of your dog loving friends. Because you got to take care of your posture, you got to take care of that head forward posture. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of health problems downstream. Dogs cause car accidents in other ways. You can find several of these stories pretty easily. A dog is sitting in the store, it put the car in drive. Because people have to have their AC running for their dog while they go in the store. Because, well, they can't leave the dog at home. It's going to chew up the couch or crap all over their new bed again. But dogs are responsible for vehicle accidents at a regular basis. Here is your super smart, loving, buddy dog. Super friend. Here he is. Yeah, that's the power that these dogs have. And people connect these dogs to little children all the time. And, the little children may not even notice that they have damage and stress in their brain. But these dogs are hugely powerful, and they cause all kinds of injury to little kids on a regular basis. And we sit here and laugh about it. It's pretty ridiculous. So if you're a dog owner, I think you need to keep your dogs away from your kids. It's going to save a lot of lives for one thing, and it's going to prevent all kinds of problems downstream. And anybody out there that pushes dog culture, that is a veterinarian or a shelter, you should not be able to own a dog without at least watching a few of these videos. Because without a doubt, dog ownership causes all types of posture problems. And it's not good for pregnant moms. It's not good for developing muscles and tendons inside of the children's body. It's not good for a human in any way, shape, or form. So that has been our look at forward head posture and how owning dogs makes forward head posture worse. See you all in the next one. Don't forget to leave me a like and a comment. See you later.